This is a video about how to change the tire end on your Chevy Express. So mine is a 2006, but it should work for the nearby year models. Here is a bunch of tools you're gonna need. Different kinds of wrenches, pliers, screwdrivers, and the most important thing is the rod and adapter, the U-shaped thing that you can just get it in AutoZone. And the first step would be remove the tire. And I'm gonna use a air gun here, and if you don't have one, then just get your car down and then use a wrench. And then remove the tire. And here is the part that we're gonna change. What we see here is the outer tire rod end, and we're gonna change this part and the connector, the bar, and the inner part of it. So first remove the stop nut with the air gun or wrench. And then this part sometimes get really tight and really rusty, so you need a hammer to knock it out. And once it's out, then now we're gonna remove the inner part. So here is the boot that is protecting the inner part. So first we use a plier to remove the clamp. There is a little clamp there. We're gonna reuse it, and when we're removing the boot, sometimes since the bar can be rusty and there will be a lot of dust on that, you need a silicone spray to get it lubricated. And then it will be much easier to remove it with the silicone. And we'll use a plier to get the silicone inside, and then just leave there. And we're gonna remove the another side of the boot. And this is a one-time use clamp. You just remove it, get it. Sometimes it can be really hard. Just remove it with the plier. And once it's done, and you can just throw this out, and you can buy the new one in AutoZone to replace it. Now both ends would be loose, and we're gonna remove the boots out. Here sometimes can be tricky, and you just need to be patient and maybe use a screwdriver or something to help you. Okay, now we remove the boots. So now you can see the inner tire rod end, and there is a pink protector, and it is plastic. It's not a necessary thing that you must put it back. So I would choose just to remove it with my rod end adapter. And I just fix the adapter on it and just use a wrench to twist it. So trying to twist the protector out of the rod end. And then if you use the adapter, you need to tighten loose these two bolts like time and time, and then after until you just remove the whole thing. And then after you remove the protector, you just do the same thing to the inner rod end. And then once it is it's loose enough, you just use a plier to slowly get it out, and then just use your hand to screw it out. So now we get the whole things down, and we're gonna reuse the clamp and the boot, and we're gonna replace the rest of the part. So here comes the most important thing. You always want your new rod end to be in the exactly same length as the old one, because this affects your alignment. So you can see here, the bolt, the nut I just pointed out. This nut is adjustable to get your car aligned, and you gonna want your new outer rod end to be in exactly the same places as the old one. How we do this is to count how many rows we got when we remove the old tie rod end, and then we want to put the new one on with the same number of rows. Alright, so now we're gonna fix it in the stand and then trying to remove the nuts. It's a little bit hard. And then after loosening it, we're just gonna to carefully get the old things out. First, we're gonna make a mark on the rod so that it would be easier for us to count how many rows are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, so it takes 13 rows to get the whole things out, and this is the length we want to remember, and we want it to be in the same length in the new outer rod end. So now we fix the new outer rod end on the stand, and then put the rod in really carefully. So the same, we need to make a mark on the rod so that it'll be easier to count. We need to count it exactly 13 rows in before we can stop. Okay, now after 13 rows, and then just fix the nut. And then we just put the whole thing back on the car. You just need to do it really carefully to get the inner rod end threaded. If it got stuck anywhere, just remove the boot in forward and then thread it in carefully. And then when you cannot move it anymore with your hand, then you just use the U-shape adapter again to trying to tighten it up. So here we're gonna use a torque wrench. When you're setting the torque value, just look at it carefully, because there is two sides on the torque wrench. One side is for foot-pounds and another side for newton-meters. And remember to use the right matrix. And here I'm using 80 foot-pounds, and it should be enough. And just fix it like really hard, and then after you hear the click, it's done. And then now you're gonna put the plastic protector back on. And then we're gonna put the boot back on. So just move it to the right place. And then just use a plier to carefully put the little clamp back on. So now we're gonna work on the back side of the boot. Just slide it in, and then make it really carefully. And then you can see here there is a tube that's connected to the ventilation. Just make sure it is in. And then here is the new part I got from AutoZone. It's an even better one than before. This is not a one-time use. You can just screw in and then screw it out. So just put it on, then use a screwdriver to tight it. Okay, now it's tight. So we are almost done, and now the last thing is to put the outer rod end back into place. And then put the stop nuts back. Just tighten the stop nut using a wrench and just tighten it as much as you can. So now we are all done. Here is the new inner and outer tie rod end. And then we just put the tie back on using the air gun. And then we're all done. And of course you need to put the plastic cap back on, although we didn't video that. And that's it. Thanks for watching.